Yes.
Right, so as you can hear in the background, somebody's decided they wanted to do some typing. I'm gonna bet I know who that is, but we're not gonna call anybody out for that. So we're back. You can see the warehouse. Somebody, again, this time it's going to be Anton, just destroyed the floor, and the otter is staring down in the cracked hole in the warehouse floor uh, at a laboratory. Probably a little
Ah!
freaked out by that. But before we get to that, I'm going to go a quick recap of what we saw last time we were here. The gentleman in the giant full-on flamingo pink tuxedo invited you guys back to his giant building, explained who he was, explained he wanted your help to help stop the city from being poisoned, from bad, the stereotypical I want to be your rich benefactor speech, because it's a lot easier for me to summarize it that way than it is for me to give you the full-on breakdown. And frankly, I don't know where my notes are for last week.
Oh,
Alright, so basically that's the thing. You guys made a basic couple deals. The whole if you lie to me, I kill you, yada yada. The basic tropes have all been hit. He then asked you guys to check out this warehouse to see if this had been hit for people who he assumed were looking for nanotechnology. You guys got here. You found people who were supposedly, allegedly, trying to find and deal with nanotechnology. You have got the emo stretchy kid has given himself up. The other two you've got sort of tied up and you beat the bleep out of them. And in the course of the fight, Anton missed, cracked the floor with his hammer. There was something down there, re-cracked the floor with his hammer, opened up a hole, and that's the laboratory you are currently staring at.
let's scamper away quickly. Behind Anton. In fact, I climb up on Anton's back and peek over his shoulder.
So what you're saying is it's kind of adorable in that sad space sort of way?
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to look at the other three and suggest that we secure the prisoners before we even venture down further. Secure them on the ship or something.
All this time, the emo kid's gonna just sort of like he's tied his own hands up in a knot, but he's gonna just go ahead and sort of give a weird look at the otter and just sort of go, "You okay there, buddy? You look a little freaked out."
Lutra looks at the emo kid and simply shakes his head really fast and then hides behind Anton.
Great. I gave myself up to an animal who's scared of his own damn shadow. You guys know you're working with a groundhog?
Peek over Anton. Not my shadow!
So you're scared of some tables and a couple of lab coats?
No! Well, okay, the lab coats, yes.
Just go look at the kid and say, shut up, or we will make you shut up. And then look at the other three and reiterate what I stated before.
Oh, the other two are kind of unconscious, so the only one you can actually talk to is the is the stretchy kid.
I'm talking about my three party members.
Oh, okay.
That we should secure the two knocked outs and the emo kid on the ship before we venture forward, so we don't get attacked from behind.
Hell no, they ain't gonna be on my ship unsupervised. And with remove the lids to one of the crates, dump all the contents out, and place the crate over one of the unconscious victims.
Okay.
Then I place another crate on top of that. He's not breathing.
imagine just look at Spectre and you look at him and be like, "You realize that we're dealing with a pyromaniac, right? You just burn the heck out of that."
Thank you.
Yeah, but we'll hear it.
We'll hear it.
Can you put the otter in there also?
Hey.
As I said, I'd rather have him do that to the crates than to do that to my ship.
Oh, why don't we load them in boxes and drag them down with us?
So what do we do about the awake one? What do you want to? Shall we put him out of his misery for the next hour or two?
I gave up, and you're talking about hurting me? That's not very heroic.
Pretty sure I told you to shut up, kid.
Oh, if you want, I can just, make you pass out. I don't need to touch you.
So do you want to go
Better
down
anyway,
the easy
you-
way? Or do you want the hammer?
Trust me,
all
you don't want his hammer.
Of all three of those options, the hammer scares me the least.
I look over at the otter and ask what the heck he is doing at this point. And I see him just skulking around the boxes.
I'm wondering what's in these things.
Give me an investigation check.
Okay. Hold on. I think my investigation kind of sucks. Let me look here. Yes. All right, here we go. Ready for this? Oh, there we go.
All right, so looking around, there's quite a bit of areas that have been destroyed, but you, for some reason, managed to get lucky. You actually are rifling through and seeing what's in some of these boxes, and you open the one basically right in front of where you're standing, or that one right there, right? And you open it up, and it's just you actually being having history in the laboratory, this looks to you like liquid mercury. But yeah, it's got a very shimmering sort of. It almost looks like it's an entire box full of liquid mercury, but for a fact it's a cardboard box or a wooden box, and it's porous. If it was that, this would be expanding and bulging, and it's not.
That's weird.
What did you find over there, boy?
I pull out. Did you say these are in bottles?
No. It's just like free floating in a box.
Oh. Okay, my bad. Look at the bar and say, this is a little weird. Try to bring the box down gently without breaking it or overly disrupting the floating.
All right, go ahead and make me a dexterity check.
Oh, I think I have. No, wait, no, I don't. Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
That's fine. You beat the 5 to not spill the contents of the box.
Well. Yay.
So the box is now on the ground. Go ahead and give me a perception check, anyone who is looking at the contents of this box.
Okay, that I got. Which means this will be the lowest roll I have, right?
Of course.
That's how this works.
I think so. Yeah, Malkier don't notice crap. Lutra, on the other hand, you notice as you put this down that it feels like wood on the outside to you, but you put it down and you sort of, as you put it down, it sort of sloshes, not really sloshes, but moves a little bit. And you see that the inside of this box is actually extremely odd and different. It's not the inside of a typical wooden box would look like. It almost looks like it's been specially engineered for some sort of purpose. As for what, you're not entirely sure.
That's it.
Lutra, what the hell are you doing over there?
I found a box with some floating stuff that kind of looks like mercury, and the box is specially made for it. This is not a normal wooden box.
I'm going to cut him off and just look at Spectre and nod to the emo kid and just tell him to put him to sleep.
Spectre.
GM?
Are you responding to Malkir?
Yeah, I'm actually just looking right now.
Okay. So is anybody else doing anything with the lab or the box or anything else for that matter?
Well, right now I'm positioning myself in front of emo kid and the box just so A, he doesn't see it, but B,
Well, he
just in case
can't
he
see.
gets...
He can't see it unless he stretches his neck out because of where he is. You would have to step over the boxes to do that, so he can't actually see it where he is anyway.
I'm trying to think if I have anything I could use that would actually help me figure out what this is. I don't think so.
Insight, actually.
Oh, I have that.
Well, considering what you were sent here to look for and protect, you don't know what it looks like, but you have a pretty good thought that this might be a box full of nanites, which is the nanotechnology you were sent here to look into.
Oh.
Malkir, it's a shiny box.
TG,
Yes.
can I use a hero point to find some chloroform in one of these crates?
Yes, you could.
Okay. I am going to do that, so that takes me down to 2 hero points.
Yeah.
But I just take the chloroform and knock the emo kid out that way, rather than attempting to not injure him with something else.
Fair enough. That works. And you still have a good 3/4 of a bottle of chloroform. And a really, really smelly rag.
Maybe useful later.
Maybe.
I suggest that we just tie them all together and just stick them in the boxes as...
Real quick, as you're chloroforming the stretchy kid, give me a perception check, please.
I like the use of chloroform as a verb.
Wouldn't chloroforming be the verb? Okay, yeah, you don't notice crap. You're too busy trying not to get high off the fumes yourself. So you've got boxes on 1, boxes on 2, and the emo kid has been chloroformed. This is weird.
Okay. We'll just stick the box so that way they're all together. And then I suggest that we send the otter down to the lab.
No! 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 No!
I'll start stacking them on top of each other in boxes.
Alrighty. As you go to pick up the scorpion guy and put him in a box, give me a perception check. Or same thing, scorpion guy or the emo kid, either one will work. I'll need a perception check. Okay, you notice something interesting on both the scorpion guy and the emo kid. Their fingerprints have been burnt off.
Huh.
These guys have no fingerprints. Something strange is here in this lab. And I don't think it's the nanotech.
I'm gonna look back at the otter and remind him of our conversation before we came here that he had the stones to continue, and not the lab again.
Don't take it fight! I didn't say anything about going to the lab!
You said you had the stones. Go down.
It's a fight!
I just looked at him and said, now.
How big is the hole for
I'll go
the
down with you, Lutra.
ground?
It's big enough to fit a normal-sized person.
So I'm not going down the hole.
You can make the hole bigger.
I agree to Lutra to go down, so that way he's not paranoid.
Alrighty. So, Spectre and Lutra are down in the hole.
Okay, well, before I go down there, I peek my head, like, through the hole and look around.
Alrighty, let me shift to a different page in my notes here. I have a lot of people notes that you guys don't care about right now. Alrighty, it looks like a bog standard laboratory. You know, your typical research laboratory. Sticking your head down, it's getting light from the warehouse, so you can really only see what the hole is letting you see. But the first thing that you'll notice, even with a little bit of light, is this thing looks like it's been abandoned for quite a while. There is definitely a moderately thick layer of dust on some of the tables and stuff that you can see. So it's definitely, if it was in use, it wasn't, you know, hasn't been used in a long time.
I'm slip down inside slowly.
All right, and you can go ahead and take a hero point for, again, the laboratory complication.
You ready?
Do either of the two people going into the lab have low light or dark vision?
Is that... I don't think so. What would that be under?
It'd be a senses power.
Oh, definitely not.
That's actually what I was researching, if otters actually do really have the light vision in real life.
Yeah, I don't have anything that says that.
Okay, so apparently...
Wait. No, never mind. That was under my light reflecting belt. Never mind. I saw senses. I'm like, oh, but that's...
Yeah.
That's
So regular otters might, but apparently anthropomorphic space otters do not.
right.
All right, so you two are down there, and like I said, you can see a little bit of what's down here just from the light that is shining through the hole. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Look up there. Anybody bother to bring a flashlight?
I can see 2 inches in front of me.
Yeah, but Lutra, on the other hand, sits down, and basically where this is, it's sort of laid out similarly to the warehouse. So it takes Lutra a couple of minutes, but he finds a light switch.
Yay! I flipped the lights on.
All right, you hear the like the whirring of this hasn't been used in a while, but it turns on. It's like you know how sometimes when you're walking down the frozen food aisle of the supermarket, and as you walk by every door, the lights sort of go on, just starts lighting up the entire aisle. That's happening here in the laboratory, but it's one set of lights at a time and going and going and going. The big thing you see about this lab is it looks, and Lutra will get this for free. It has a distinct feel of a research laboratory where there are living research specimens.
Lutra's head starts darting around like he's on high alert again.
I'm gonna go position myself over the hole just in case she doesn't come back up.
Okay.
I assume there are chairs in this lab.
There are a couple currently pulled up to computer stations.
Okay, I pull one out and I just sit at it and watch Lutra as he explores.
Okay, so you're sitting in a chair at a computer.
I'm gonna look back at Anton and ask if he's okay up here if I go down and join the other two.
Yeah, go ahead. I got these knuckleheads.
I'm gonna advance down as well then.
And while they're down in the hole, I would want to start digging through the boxes and rummaging through stuff upstairs.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check. You don't find crap. In fact, after about 4 boxes, you get bored and you go back to sharpening your hammer, cleaning your hammer, polishing your hammer, and coming up with ideas of how can I make this a better hammer.
Bikes.
So Spectre casually checks to see if the computer power's on, and it does.
So I'm gonna come up behind Lutra and kind of just put my hand on his shoulder. No, calm down, you fool. And then walk past him, over to where Spectre is.
Don't do that to me.
All right, so Spectre, real quick. It does have a password option, and so yeah, it does require a password to log on. It says on the username, it just says BP.
So looking at this, how difficult would it be to take it with us if we choose to?
Pretty difficult. It's one of those big, giant, into the,
I was gonna say, I was just assuming that it was the whole server just built into the warehouse.
It's exactly what it is.
Technology roll.
Go ahead. 18 is not going to be enough to break the password. However, it is going to be enough to at least take a look and try and figure out, you're smart enough to know that, well, sometimes if you forget your password, that you will, you'll leave yourself a hint. So there is the hint box for the password. The hint box simply says, "Along came a spider."
Arachnid? Miss Muffet, yes.
You get the screen. Incorrect password. 4 more tries.
Does the password have a character limit?
If it does, the 10 letters from Miss Muffet were not enough to fill it up.
we just like hold down the M key and see how many characters it takes?
If you go ahead and do that, 14 is the maximum amount of characters the password can be.
Okay.
I'd have rather 10.
Why 10?
Because that's not as many permutations.
Fair enough. So Spectre is working on the computer. Is anybody else doing anything downstairs?
Are there any other workstations that aren't like computers, like just like desks or something like that?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'm gonna do the same thing, just kind of look around and see what I see.
Not a problem. Eventually you'll roll. Oh no, that's Lutra. Never mind.
Just saving it for combat, right?
Lutra. What type of laboratory did you say that you thought this was?
Sorry, what did you say?
What type of research center did you say this was?
Oh, one that definitely held living test subjects. Definitely.
Test subjects. Let me try this one.
All right, and Lutra, you do notice a couple of other workstations. Both the other workstations do have computers, but you do manage to take a look. Well, we'll address that in a minute, Malkier. You do manage to see what appears to be one of the workstations specifically. Well, now that you're looking around, the workstation that Spectre is actually on. Incorrect password. 3 more tries. The workstation that the Spectre is actually on does have a filing cabinet next to it. And Malkier, as you look at the body tube behind Lutra, you actually notice something a little bit on the weird side. Let me go ahead and get an image here for you. So give me 1 second here. All right, that's in. And you all should have a handout explaining what can be seen.
Dude.
It looks like even though the lights were off, the power was still on in this tube. You were all focused on the laboratory proper and not the outskirts of it. So this is definitely in a stasis tube.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to walk over to the tube and get a closer view of it. Can I see if it's alive or if it's what state it's in?
It's hooked up to your typical, stasis cell, stasis tube things. You're not sure. You can go ahead and roll me a treatment check if you'd like.
Me or?
Yes, you.
It's gonna be the highest roll he has all day.
Of course it is.
Hey, shut up.
With the 18, you think it's probably still alive, just because but you're not entirely sure because you wouldn't know where exactly to look on this thing for signs, vital signs. All right. So as Lutra starts to wander over towards the filing cabinet, Spectre sees what he's doing, heads to the cabinet himself, finds out that it's unlocked. So Spectre, opens it up, and It's your typical filing cabinet. It's got like hanging files on there, and riffling through the files proper, or the envelopes proper, the folders, there's nothing of note in the folders, but go ahead and give me a perception check. That is good enough to notice that most, or the first file in there, you know how they have the pop-up tabs that you can label, has the following label on it.
I immediately pull out that file because, well, I already tried that.
No, you didn't actually try that.
Okay, I tried a variation.
Did. Passwords tend to be specific.
It is just a folder. There is nothing in it.
I'm gonna walk over to one of the other computers and check out that one of the other ones.
I actually walk over to the body tube. I'd like to try a treatment check myself. I actually have some of that.
Alrighty, go ahead.
Not that I'm likely to actually beat his 18, but give it a shot. See what happens. Nope. Never mind. I tried.
So after you get the welcome screen on the computer, you see what appears to be just a blank screen, like somebody has wiped most of the information off the desktop.
I'm going to shout up to Anton that he might want to secure the nanites on the ship while we're taking care of this.
Y'all want me to secure the victims on the ship too, or y'all want me to stay in here with y'all?
I would say secure everything at this point, but I would leave that to Spectre since he's the captain of the ship at this point.
As long as they aren't gonna, like, destroy my ship, that's fine.
Then I'll leave them in boxes over here in the corner. Do I have storage space in my suit?
You can carry the box of nanites, not a problem.
Okay. Well, I was more thinking of just securing them on.
You don't have enough room to secure the amount of nanites that are in this box.
Okay. I will go take these to the ship then. I'll be back.
All right, you get a command line prompt. All right, I'm going to have Spectre go ahead and roll a technology check at this point. Alrighty. With the 19, now I'm going to give the best description I can of this because I don't know nearly as much about computers as I probably should when it comes to this stuff, so bear with me here. So, going ahead, getting your command line prompt, doing what you can to try and dig up a lot of the files. You can definitely tell that a lot of the older files were definitely deleted with a purpose. But the newer ones seem to have been deleted very, very hastily. So what you're going to come across is a couple of things. But for the most part, it almost looks like you're looking at a medical chart. Like a lot of the data that you come across is medical chart information. It's got, like information, just your typical medical information, but it's not. It's weird because it's not information that you would look to get or you would see normally on someone in a hospital. Go ahead and give me either an insight or a treatment check.
Both have the same modifier, so that's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. This, now that you take a look at it and a little more, this information looks prenatal in nature.
Alright, so do I see anything on the secondary PC at this point?
It doesn't turn on.
Alright, so we only have one of them that's working at this point.
Correct.
Are there... Now, I know there won't be names. Are there patient reference numbers?
Just one. It just simply says 1.
These guys are no fun.
Perusing
I gotta assume it's that thing over there.
Perusing a little bit deeper, you'll find one other piece of information. And we are going to...
While I'm dropping the stuff off at the ship, do I see anything outside?
Nope, nothing out of the ordinary outside.
Okay.
But go ahead and give me a perception check. And Spectre, you should have a mysterious note in your handouts. It's technically a journal entry. Yep, you see nothing of consequence outside the ship. Or outside by the ship, Anton.
Alright, I'm returning then to the...
Can I roll an insight check to see if I've ever heard of this name before?
You can go right ahead if you'd like. Alrighty, 20. Well, you remember, with a 20, you remember hearing rumors of, when you first got into town. And you remember hearing stories of how over on the outskirts of town, there was apparently a ridiculously brutal murder scene. And it didn't register to you at first until you thought about it again, and the screen specifically giving you the "Welcome, Dr. Pittman" line, that the family in question was, and you only know this because between your and Guy's military contacts that you might still have contact with, you know that while the name that was given to the authorities, the people who were living there, excuse me, was, it was your generic Smith last name, and you heard rumors through that it was actually the Pittman family. As far as you understand, based on what you remember reading, the entire family was murdered: father, mother, son, daughter.
Okay. Any of this to anyone else?
What's up? All right, before we can continue doing any of that, we have something else that's going to happen now. Lutra tapped on the glass of the body tube. The eyeballs of the thing in the body tube open up. And whatever this thing in the body tube is, it's pissed. And proceeds to shatter the body tube.
Ah!
What
Do I hear
fuck did
this?
you do?
I'm gonna shout up to Anton to get his big metal ass down here.
The hole's still too small for me to get down, correct?
Yes, but you have a hammer that can make it bigger.
I'm going to smash a hole.
All right.
I'm going to smash a hole in it to, or not smash, but gently pry so that I don't drop anything on my
No, that's fine.
comrades below.
Fair enough. So before anything else can happen, this thing is going to go and it's just going to just charge and break the other two tubes you see down there, because there are 3 of them. So you get 3 of them here. So I don't have a laboratory background set up real quick, but I'm just going to create us a blank page. Now I'll just use the warehouse one, it's fine. Just ignore the warehouse. So you have Lutra, who is tapping on the glass. Actually, these guys are going to be here, here, and here. Lutra was tapping on the glass here. Did Discord doing Discord things again?
Yeah, I did hear a thing.
Yeah,
you
we
said.
heard Lutra and nothing else about the past minute.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. I was, as you could see on the screen, I was trying to set up people's locations for the upcoming stuff. Anton's going to be over here. Basically, he's going to fall in about here. Spectre's about there on the computer. Malkir's over here trying to figure out what's going on with Lutra.
I'm going to use quick draw at this point to ready myself.
Well, we are going to go ahead and we're going to put ourselves on initiative here. So go ahead and roll me some initiative.
Freaking sweet.
I just realized I did not. I screwed up my skill points. I added +1 to close combat. That didn't actually do anything, apparently.
Right, because it's going to. There's only certain things we can do. It's a limitation thing.
I'll fix it later.
Alrighty, so we have got Lutra rocking a 17. No, not 19, 17, 17. We've got Malkir with an 11, who apparently still can't roll to save his life. Anton rocking a 23. Let me roll for these guys real quick. So that one's got 5. That one's got 12. And that one's got 17. Alrighty, so our turn order is going to be Anton, Lutra, that creepy guy, that creepy guy, Malkier, Spectre, and that creepy guy.
ATG.
Yes.
The two that are like colored, can you put a colored marker on each of them?
I can. If I knew how to do it.
Just right click on them, or just click on them, and then you have that little like circle inside a circle. Click on that, and it should come up with options.
There we go.
Much better.
Alrighty. So Anton is up first, and his first turn is going to be spent breaking his way through, so he'll be down on the second turn. Lutra is up.
You guys do hear.
Yeah, you definitely hear that he's coming down.
Can I look these over and see if there's any actual, like, sentient intelligence, or are they just raging?
They're pissed. They're absolutely pissed.
Pissed is one thing, but can they understand is the other.
I don't know.
Okay.
Depends on how you want to approach it.
Well, I don't approach it like we just freed them from captivity. Too bad my persuasion sucks. Oh, okay. Crap. Actually, I hate going this quick. You move up here.
Alrighty.
And I look at this creature. I'm gonna go, wait! No, you're not being experimented on anymore. It's okay. We set you free. Did you do anything?
Screams at you incoherently.
Okay, well, never mind. I tried.
Just like it's absolutely ridiculously PO'd.
Right. I do the thing where put their arm in front of the face, like, okay, well, that didn't work. All right. I'm going to try to trip this guy with my tail.
Alrighty. Roll the hit.
I'm looking for that.
Alrighty, 18 will hit that one.
Cool.
And it actually bruise and daze it.
Oh, wow.
But it's even more pissed off now.
Does that trip him too?
Does it have tripping?
I think so. Let me double check. Yes, it does.
Alrighty, I have to make a save of either dodge, acrobatics, or athletics versus the ability. So let's take a look. No, it does not.
Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna use my ability to move after whatever the heck it's called.
Yep, move by action. That's fine. It's
That's
now,
it, yes.
It's now this one's turn, and he's kind of pissed over at you, but it's gonna run. It's gonna sort of run over here, and it's actually going to breathe on both Malkier and Lutra. It is using bad breath. So I'm going to need dodge checks of DC 21 from both Lutra and Malkier.
I have something.
What do I need to do? What do I have to roll?
Dodge check. If you have evasion, you can go ahead add a +2 to the check. If you have evasion 1, a +5 to the check. If you have evasion 2.
Yep, I've got evasion too. So it's my what is it? A dodge check? You said.
It is a dodge check. Yes.
So I'm rolling +5. Okay. So plus my dodge +5.
Roll the die, and then whenever you get, add 5 to it.
Got it.
Where do I see evasion?
Evasion's going to be an advantage if you have it.
Where is dodge on this stupid thing?
Dodge is going to be...
Got it.
Alrighty, so Alright, so
+5 to that.
Lutra's going to completely dodge out of the way of everything. Basically, he's just going to flatten down to the ground and just not get hit in the cone of breath. Malkir is going to dodge a good portion of it, but still going to get hit by some of it because, well, it's like a giant creature burping at you. So I am going to need a Fortitude save from Malkir. The DC is 16. That will do it. You are not affected by bad breath. It is the blue dot's turn. And blue dot is also kind of cranky. And by kind of cranky, I mean really cranky. So he's going to look around. And, well, he sees the 3 people here, but since the easiest thing for him to get to is he's attacking Spectre at the computer. So he's charging right through the computer. He's just going to leap over the computer and just throw a gigantic punch at Spectre. But I don't think a 12 hits you, does it?
It does not.
So he just jumps and like does the the superhero landing where like the fist is down, but just punches the floor right next to you. Leaves a pretty big freaking hole. Malkir's up.
He's still groggy from waking up.
Apparently, yes.
I'm going to draw and go after the one that Lutra has already stunned.
Which is the one that breathed on you.
Well, yes, the one that breathed on me. I'm going home.
You're home already?
You miss.
That's my 4th one this session.
Hey,
Alrighty.
Dark. Normally when that happens, we change our dice, so
Yes.
you might want to change your color.
Or your keyboard.
Or just stop sucking.
Just throw the whole computer out.
There you go. Change your internet browser.
Great, we're switching to Skype, aren't we?
Oh God, Skype! Wow.
Would you prefer Google Hangouts?
Actually,
Alright, so real quick. Nope, it didn't help doing it that way either. So,
No, I'm just trying to figure out how to change my dice.
alright, so what I am going to
just
do
change the color.
is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to give Malkir a sympathy hero point for the dice just saying a big old pile of bleep you. Oh, but Spectre is up.
Okay, so that dude just lands right by me and punches the floor.
Yep. By the way, I'm going to ask you, Krim, do you recognize where I got this image from?
Like one of the encapsulated monsters from Final Fantasy VII.
It
but
is a Nibelheim monster. Yes, it is. Apparently it's called a Monoko.
Well then,
Anyway, it's your turn.
So, yeah, the guy, as he lands and totally misses me, I go to grab him.
Okay. Roll a grab check.
What is the grab check? I forget.
Grab check is...
With a-
Grab is based off of your fighting and any other close attack you would have.
So, would I just roll plus my fighting modifier then?
It would be a +4 for you.
Okay, because the ranking close combat. Then
Yeah.
I'll just roll close combat.
Well, you're gonna hit because you crit him with a grab check. So
Nice.
normally a grab check would be an opposed roll. I'm just gonna give you the grab because he's still somewhat dazed from being in the tube, and you crit him. So you have him grabbed.
Okay.
And by the way,
So
Dark, that's how you roll.
Shut up.
After grabbing him, I fly into the air and immediately throw him down into the ground.
First things first, you're going to have to make a strength check to do so. Gee, Krim. I forget, you're actually a strong one. Stronger one. Yeah, your rolls were on point tonight. All right, you managed to get him off the ground. Not a problem. You said you're going to throw him, so go ahead and make me a throw roll. Yep, that's what I thought. Really? Really?
Oh, wow.
I hate you so much.
Well,
Interesting thing about these two specifically is they're technically considered minions. So when they take something, they take the full extent of it, even if they only fail by 1 tier. So you completely wreck this thing.
Just look down at it as I come back down to the ground. Bastard.
Well, it's the other one's turn. And it... let's see what it gets on its perception check. It actually, strangely enough, is also going after Spectre. You did kind of make a big scene about using seismic toss on its buddy. It's doing the exact... It's basically, as you're flying back down, it's sort of using its leaping to jump up and punch you. Or try to, anyway. I don't think an 18 hits you.
Actually, it does.
18 does hit your parry?
Yep. My parry's 7.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a DC 27 toughness save, as these things hit like a truck. Alright, that would be a bruise and a daze. And that's an appropriate time for Anton to basically finish chipping away and fall down. And the first thing you see is that giant blue and red monster just jumping and just cold cocking Spectre right in the face. Anton?
I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Your turn.
Clicking.
Okay.
I'm clicking.
Just wanted to
You're-
make sure. Wanted to make sure.
Are Lutra and Malkir in my line of path to the whatever it is, the one by them?
Kind of, but you have ways of getting. Keep in mind, this is already a straight line sort of thing. There are some pieces, but you have ways of getting to that, getting to him without getting in your way.
Yes, I'm gonna warp jump right in front of the one by them.
Alrighty, that you can do. So you're gonna just warp jump here. Or there. That works too.
And then coming out of the jump, I'm going to fire strike it.
Fire strike it. Okay, so it needs a dodge check first. Right? Alright, so it's dodge. 20. Could you go ahead and click the fire strike button for me?
Oh, sorry. Yep.
Yeah, that's okay. Alright, so dodge. You can ignore that. We can ignore the crit there, unfortunately, that you rolled. So DC 20 dodge, it's going to reduce the damage by 5. So make it a DC 20. It's going to soak the fire strike. But it now has a giant metal man right in front of it.
And am I able to switch to my shield, or do I need to wait?
You have to wait. So
Okay.
you have to do it next turn. But it is the otter's turn.
Okay. I've got an idea. I'm gonna step right here. And I'm gonna look at this big thing. And stand right in front of it. And give him some big, cute otter eyes. And try to make him look at me and pay attention to me. Because I'm cute, damn it! I'm using Agile Fate.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you not even to bother rolling because this thing is immune to interaction effects. So.
Oh! Okay, well, then... Can I still attack, or does that use that?
Technically, Agile Feint can be used as a move action, so you can attack, but you cannot move out of the way.
That's fine. I have an idea. I'm going to attack with teeth and claws.
If it means anything, Lutra, you're cute by proximity.
Thank you. Hey! That's a crit.
That is a crit. Oh, that's a crit. So that means that is a DC 31 toughness save that this thing has to make. Crim with the daggers. That'll be.
That's multi-strike, too.
Oh, it is multi-attack. That's right. So it makes it a DC 36 because this thing is. So 22. Yeah, you'll give it 2 bruises and you'll stagger it.
I'm going to use my, was it that grab?
Fast grab? Yep. So I have to make a strength or dodge check versus your strength. So basically your strength versus my strength. Roll a strength check.
Strength is 7, okay.
It's a roll off. Beat a 3. You have him grabbed.
Yay! Does that give my teammates any advantage, by the way?
He's considered defenseless while grabbed. So yeah, he's easier to hit.
Yay! Of course, it's his turn next, so.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you, it is his turn. You have him grab, basically, you've got sort of like teeth and claws into him, but the one thing that the picture did not do justice for, because it didn't, didn't actually need it until right now, is he, for some reason, is now going to sprout a tail, which is something that these guys can do, and he's going to try and attack the otter with, not the tail. So does a 25 hit you, Lutra?
What is that?
Base parry plus 10. Is it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, then I'll need a
that would
toughness save of DC 27, please.
Actually, I would like to do something different than that.
We can do that.
I've got 2 hero points, so I'd like to spend one and use instant counter.
Alrighty. Are you going to do what I think you're going to do?
Well, it worked so well the first blasted time, literally the same thing. So, yes, I would like to slip off his back before he hits me with his tail and slam himself in the back.
And guess what? It'll work the same way it did the first time. I freaking hate otters.
I swear I didn't set her up like that, but you waved him a tail and tried to hit me. Like, it worked. That was a hero point well spent as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I agree. It's Malkir's turn. This is the second time you've seen the otter jump in, grab something, and then have it knock itself out with its own weaponry.
Yes, the tail.
Alright, so how close am I to this thing? Like, what's in my way at this point?
Nothing. You can get there, not a problem.
Alright, so I'm going to go up towards backside so it didn't see me coming. And then I will use my sword.
Oh, it's still riding high in the fact that it just cold-cocked the ever-loving crap out of Spectre. Besides, this is dark rolling. We know what's going to happen anyway.
Hey.
Oh, wow. You rolled double digits.
Shut up.
He changed his color.
Yeah, he did hit, though. DC 21, let's see. Nope, it just it laughs in the face of your sword. Spectre is up. This thing punched you pretty good.
I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah, I just moved out of the way.
Okay, so you're double moving out of the way?
No, I have 500 move speed when I fly.
Okay, so you're literally just getting the hell out of Dodge?
Yeah, that's all I can do since I'm
Dazed? Yep.
dazed.
Alright, your daze does go away at the end of this round, but it's its turn. And since it doesn't have the thing it punched on it, it's going to go to the other thing that tried to attack it. So it's throwing a giant punch at Malkir. And does a 19 hit Malkir?
What am I looking for?
Base dodge plus 10. Or base parry
20,
plus
so
10,
no.
excuse me.
20 plus, so no.
Alright, so it misses you. It just leaves another giant gaping hole in the ground.
My base is 10. Oh, wait, hold on. You said base, right?
Yeah, no, your base is 10. You're fine. Whatever number it says right there, you're fine.
Well, it says 10 equals 2 plus 8.
Yeah, so yeah, 10 would be your base, yeah.
Okay.
Under the total score. Yeah. So yeah, you're good.
Okay, so yeah, it'd be 20 then.
Anton, you're up.
Alright. I'm going to move up next, or charge up next to it.
And you're going to turn it into a nail?
What else do I do? Yeah, I'm going to smack this
I think we
snot
need
out
to
of the thing.
I think we need to rename the hammer strike to everything's a nail.
Alright, so hammer strike.
You hit by a lot. And since it's a minion, you splatter this thing. Like
I'm gonna clean my armor off.
well, like, the shiny hammer you just had is now all dirty again, covered in whatever the heck this was guts. but we can go ahead and clear the turn order list because we're now off combat.
Yeah, basically. Lemons. That helps a lot. No. I kneel down at this, with the remains of this creature next to me, and see if I can tell anything about it.
Do you have any sort of expertises at all?
Nope. I've got treatment. Well, no, I do have expertise. Don't think it'll help in this, but I do have expertise in culinary.
You know that this probably isn't going to taste good if you cook it.
I don't think I need expertise in culinary to know that one, but yeah. All right, okay. So
Yeah.
I look around and see, does he have any loot on him? No, kidding.
Surprisingly enough, he's got a small stringed instrument.
Yay!
It breaks when you pick it up.
Oh. It's me being the honor guard.
But yeah, you really can't tell unless you have
Yeah.
any sort of expertises in.
No, the only thing I've got that could possibly help is treatment. I don't
Yeah,
think it's gonna
unfortunately,
help
this is beyond the scope of a
there. Yeah, no.
treatment check.
Yeah, I've got it figured.
I'm gonna pull out a cloth and start wiping my hand.
It squeaks.
Why do I have a squeaky?
Because the guts you're polishing off are making it squeak against the metal.
Do I notice anything about the guts?
They're guts.
What color is the blood?
Red.
Last
At this point, we have one that's like knocked out in the ground from when he body smashed it, or was that?
No, they the only one that's sort of still alive is the one that whacked itself with the tail. The other two have just sort of kerfluied.
Alright, so I'm gonna go over to the one that's somewhat alive and see what I can see off it.
Well, this one, go ahead and give me a perception check. Well, that's not a 1.
Okay.
So what you do get from this is, the first thing you notice is that this one had a different coloration than the other two. The other two seem to have the bottom half of them be flesh toned, and the top half be this weird bluey color, almost like flesh that was really cold. This one, all the color has been drained out. It's just gray. But aside from that, you don't get much more because you really don't know where to look.
Alright, so we're going to. Is it knocked out or is it toast?
It's knocked out currently, but
Y'all want me to box this thing up too?
I would see if we can preserve it somehow so we can take it for further study.
I must say my favorite thing about this is that the new method of taking care of prisoners is I'm going to box them up.
Take out.
Easier transport.
True.
We need a doggy bag.
Are there any refrigerated boxes or decent storage containers around?
Roll me a perception check. No.
Start with box.
Yeah. All right. So, what is the exact status of who's doing what right now?
Alright, so I am with the body at the moment, trying to figure out what's going on with it.
Alrighty.
I'm looking for a suitable box for the body.
You don't find one.
I
Which one
kind
was
of nod at Spectre to finish up what he was doing on the computer before the honor when everything go to hell.
Lutra's gonna look around for any documentation, desk drawer, or anything that can help him figure out what the hell these things actually were.
Alright, give me an investigation check.
Okay, so
Okay. You really don't find much of anything.
okay.
Yeah, it seems like the only place where there's any sort of means of information is the computer.
Are there any fish here?
No.
At this point, I'm going to walk over to the tube that the main one was in and see if I notice anything inside of it that would have been related to the monster.
Give me a perception check. You think that, looking around you, you see the shards of shattered glass. You think that you can make out what appear to be some letters on them, but you're not sure that there's enough to come up with anything. You find the only two letters you find intact are those. The rest, there's lines, but you really can't tell.
Alright, so at this point, is there anything, well, I guess, I don't know if it's something you could answer. Is there anything that would strike us as something we haven't checked yet?
Go ahead and give me a final perception check. As far as you can tell, it all looks clear.
Now, from the damage to the floor with the guys attacking, are there holes or are we on the ground level now?
You're on the ground level.
I kind of look at Anton and point out that he hasn't really looked around yet and to see if he can spot anything that would strike him as off.
If Anton is doing anything with that, he can roll me a perception check.
Sorry, I didn't. Discord dropped.
Oh, Malkir looked at Anton and goes, "You haven't looked around down here. What do you see?"
Okay.
I give you a place to look around. There are the tubes on the back wall. There was the computer stations. For the most part, seeing that the other two computer stations don't turn on, the filing cabinets that you do see, you can get into them easily. Have no files. You're pretty sure everything's taken care of. The computer is probably the only thing that you're going to get any viable information out of.
Spectre, you find anything in the computer? We're not seeing
go
anything
ahead.
else here.
And give me one more technology check, Spectre. And based on that, based on if you get anything more. Alrighty. So what you'll manage to, or any information you'll manage to get, right now there's nothing that you sort of see as, potential information, but when you get back to wherever you want to take a look at it and get the stuff off your phone, we will address it if necessary.
Okay, I look at Spectre and tell him to pass over the chloroform so we can not listen to the audio on the way back.
What I do?
I just gotta look at
Anything.
I just look at the body tube and go, "Do you have to ask?"
I didn't do that. It woke up.
And just why did it wake up?
Oh,
I just kind of mutter foolish and start going back up the stairs.
tap on glass at the aquarium all the time. Everything always swims away.
I don't know why I found that so funny. I have no idea what that means.
That wipes the system.
Okay, system's been wiped.
So I'm going to pick up the body and go take it upstairs to the prisoners that we already have.
Well, when you get up there, you no longer have prisoners.
Matt.
So you have a body of a giant experimental monster. That's about it.
Well, didn't we load them onto the ship?
No.
No, I didn't want him on the ship just for that reason.
Alright, so we should at this point go make sure that the ship is okay at the very least. I just kind of nod at one of the crates and tell them to drop the specimen in there so we can take it with us.
Yeah, there's definitely a big enough boxes here to hide the specimen.
Yep, I'll load it in a box and start taking it towards the jet. You guys coming?
To head to the plane.
All right, so get back to the plane. The box of nanotechnology is still there, still secure.
I kind of just sit there, sharpening one of my blades and just staring down Lutra at this point.
I direct whoever's carrying the cargo is.
Now, do we have any more secure stuff on the ship that we could put this thing into?
You do not have any holding cells of any kind on the ship.
Yet.
I'm gonna look at Lutra and casually gonna say, "Don't touch the box this time."
What?
Lutra, give me a will save.
That might be a very funny thing. Hold on a second. Oh, no, it's not actually that bad.
Okay, you do not want to touch the box.
Okay.
Hey, Lutra, how about you come join me in the cockpit?
No? Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. I scamper over. On 4 limbs.
I'm going to sit and guard the box with Anton in the back.
I start making headway back towards the tall building.
It doesn't take too long to get there.
Did we just go through a black hole?
Yes.
Can we radio ahead to have them ready with some kind of store?
You can.
Okay, so we'll do that. Well, I'll do that anyway.
Yeah, so when you get back there, you have, not only do you have Mr. Casey there waiting for you, he's got somebody else there helping him. And I have to throw out another handout here. Somebody else is helping him with everything. People on my side can see it right now, but this lovely nerdy looking fellow.
Alright, so once we disembarked, I'm going to kind of turn back to the ship and see if I notice anything off about it before we go away from it.
Give me a perception check. Looks normal to you.
As I'm walking off the ship, I look over to who's your friend?
One of my lead researchers is Spencer Dalton.
Okay, well, I have another name. I hope you know.
Okay, as at this point, Spencer and a couple other people were just whooshing off with the box.
So make sure you accompany them.
Alright, I'm going to go with them, I suppose, at this point.
So, what do you know of Dr. Pittman?
Pittman. It's been a long time since I've heard that name.
That was quite this. Considering that I found the name in one of your laboratories.
What do you mean, my laboratories? He's legitimately looking at you confused. Yeah, I have a warehouse off books. I don't have a laboratory. My laboratories are here.
No, there was definitely a laboratory.
Are you're sure about this?
I would say that there was guts left on Anton's hammer and a demon sitting in a box that we just drug into your facility that says so.
He is 100% stone faced, shocked by the revelation of that. He's like, I did my research. I looked into all the blueprints. None of my information said there was a laboratory anywhere.
My hammer says otherwise.
There's definitely a lab there.
I know nothing about this lab. Like, I legit, like, this is news to me.
Well, then I hope your researchers are geniuses, because whatever was down there, well, let's just say that their mood swings were off the charts.
Mood swings. When you put it casually like that, it sounds like we're dealing with, an angsty teenage girl.
Well, there was one of those too, but that wasn't the mutant. Those were the three that were scuffling around in the warehouse before we discovered this laboratory.
Oh, God. Did they get anything?
Knocked out. The teenage girl got chloroform.
Phrasing.
And it was at this point that Spectre revealed that he drives a white panel van.
And now we know the nature of Spectre's accident. It was an angry father.
Casey probably actually might have found that hilarious because he doesn't know the context
Yup.
of it at all.
He's more shocked than anything. Okay. Did they take anything?
They didn't have a chance. Well, unless they decided to go on a scavenger hunt before they ran out of the building with their tails between their legs, while we were dealing with the mutants, I highly doubt they escaped with anything. Besides the few boxes that we may have destroyed casually within the confines of the battle with them, didn't really seem to hold anything of much value.
No, for the most part, everything in there is things that you would buy off of random storage lockers, because you can buy for cheap. And I just threw them all in boxes to make it look like the warehouse was full. The only box that was really of any concern was the large box near the beginning, near the front, which you know that he's talking about the one you guys brought back with you.
Does he know that we have that at this point?
Nope.
He doesn't know anything other than what we're telling him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, they could have made away with it, but I highly doubt it. But I need more answers than you do right now.
Okay, about what? Because I need answers too. I want to know where the hell this lab you're supposedly talking about came from.
Well, it didn't just appear out of thin air. It's literally under the warehouse. We destroyed the floor a little bit and saw the warehouse underneath, went down. There were computers. I did some computer stuff.
Did you get any
Lutra did
information?
some Lutra stuff. And then we had...
Wait, so you did some computer stuff. Did you get any information at all?
I got the name Dr. Pittman, which is, once again, where we come back to, what do you know about Dr. Pittman?
Like I said, it's a name I haven't heard of in a while. About 10 years ago, back in mid-98, early 98, just vanished, disappeared off the map. Until then, he was a brilliant doctor who was looking into a lot of research on how to potentially stop diseases and afflictions and things of that nature that occur when a child is still a fetus. A lot of like prenatal research.
Anti-mutanism?
What?
Was he studying anti-mutanism?
Not that I remember hearing. He was looking to stop more things along the lines of like Down syndrome.
And you're for certain he is no longer around?
No one's heard hide nor hair of him since '98.
Very well then.
Nor
I'll have
any
to
of
do
nor
more research.
nor any of his family, his wife, his kid. Well, I can't even say his kid because his wife was pregnant at the time that that they disappeared.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do my own research just to dive in a little bit more. In terms of what we found on the computer, I found numbers for a specimen. Specimen 1, and it was all prenatal information.
Specimen 1? There's no way. There's no way. He wouldn't
Wait.
resort to specimens.
I mean, it had nothing other than a number. No name, no parents. And it was labeled Specimen 1.
Really?
The rest of the computer was already deleted. I wiped it upon leaving. I had the information. I can divulge whatever information, but as I said, it was all prenatal statistics and monitoring. Heart rates, BP, that type of stuff. I mean, nothing too special.
Well, that research, makes sense, but using the term specimen, that just doesn't seem like anything that would fit into Dr. Pittman's MO. I mean, from what I remember hearing about the man. I was, young at the time.
At this point, Spectre just goes and sits down on the couch and just stares at the TV.
It's currently in, more news cycles reporting of this storm that happened, which is what the media has decided to call it, down on the docks.
Lutra looks around and says, anyone hungry?
So, I'm going, since I'm with the other people that were taking the mutant, I'm going to look at the nerd and ask exactly what he plans to do with this thing.
I plan to figure out what exactly this is. Maybe. I'm hoping.
Just looking at what's your baseline of thought at this point?
My baseline of thought is whatever happened to whatever this is, it was absolutely horrible. Like, there's no need of whatever this was. But give me about an hour or so, and I'll see what I can come up with. I have to run a couple of tests.
Oh, you can have all the time you want, but that doesn't mean I'll be leaving this thing in your care.
I'm just saying give me an hour before I have any information. Okay, why is there cards?
He goes in playing around with the deck.
Okay. That's funny. All right. So, anyone else doing anything? Lutra's cooking fish. Go ahead. Roll a culinary expertise. Culinary. It's some pretty good fish, actually. It's a nice, it's a pretty nice piece of salmon, and it takes a little while because Lutra decides he's been watching the Food Network, and he wants to wood plank this salmon. So it's some wood plank salmon. It takes about an hour, but it's fantastic.
It's yummy, see? I can make yummy fish.
All right, you're gonna have.
The outer's useful for something.
Yeah. Actually, these playing cards are going to be useful at some point to me, so I'll have to figure out how to use those later. Thank you for finding that. So as the other three are happily eating cedar planked salmon, Malkir is watching Spencer over here do a myriad of tests on whatever the heck this thing is. And, he's taking blood samples, the whole 9 yards, like everything. And, Malkir is just sort of watching like, this is nuts what you're seeing this guy doing. Like, you've seen research, like you've seen people doing research and being crazy like this, but this is a whole nother level. But real quick, go ahead and give me a will save.
Who?
You, Malkir.
Oh.
All right, you're not going to go into full-on panic mode, but watching this does kind of trigger a little bit of a memory in your head. You're not quite sure, what, but you definitely remember. Seeing somebody doing something like this. You can't quite remember who or what, but you've seen something like this before.
Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of grasp my head and put my head down, like a pain, flashback type move.
Yep. And then as you're bringing your head back up, you just hear a, "Oh my God," from Spencer.
I'm just gonna look at him in like a pain, perhaps say, that doesn't sound good. What'd you find?
We need to get everybody we need everybody.
Okay, so I'm gonna contact the group on the comms and tell them to get over here as soon as possible.
You guys are just finishing up your cedar plank salmon when you get the your butts down here message.
I wonder what they found.
I'm gonna kind of just shout over the intercom to Lutra to hurry up and not take a sweet ass time.
No one else seems to be moving.
Thomas will definitely head down.
Always labs.
I'm just gonna look at Anton and tell him to get the otter in here.
I'm human right now.
I don't care.
So as everyone gets in, even if Lutra's standing at the door, it's kind of just like So this is a little weird, a little okay, a lot strange and weird. this thing is or was at some point human. Like, its DNA has been altered in some way that it
Doesn't
caused
retain
this.
doesn't retain enough of its DNA to match to who he previously might have been. Or
I'm
previously
running
might have
that
been.
right now, but this was just I've never seen anything like this before. This is crazy. Like it looks like whoever was responsible for this altered the DNA to try and do something, but all it did was trigger this, almost like, I don't know. I mean, the best way I can describe it is, you know how with Down syndrome you have that extra chromosome. It's kind of like that, but it triggered a weird, monstrous mutation type of thing. Like, you guys can see he's freaking out.
Goodness.
At this point, others may notice a breeze starting in the lab.
Anyone else noticing that it's a little windy in here? Why is it windy in here?
I'm going to go up to. I don't remember what you said his name was, but the scientist dude.
The
And
nerdy
just
one or
gonna-
the benefactor one?
The nerdy one. I know Thomas.
Spencer.
So I'm gonna go to Spencer and kind of just put my hand like on his shoulder, but not in like a friendly. I said Spencer, not the idiot.
No, that's Spencer's reaction to.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Lutra.
He's jumpy.
So well, so is Lutra, but so I'm gonna kind of like go up, not in like a friendly manner, but like I don't want to say like dominating manner, but like a manner that like to kind of like calm the f down.
Like I've got control of the situation manner.
Sorta, yeah.
Somebody better start talking, Casey.
I'm just as freaked out about this as you are. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around this right now. I've never seen this. I have no idea what's going on right now.
So you're gonna deny to me that Pittman had nothing to do with genetic altering of genes? He was only trying to cure things? Then what the hell is this?
I don't know. I'm telling you the information that I know. That's what I know. When he that's what his work was. I don't know what happened. I don't know why we suddenly lost contact with him 10 years ago. I don't know where he went. I don't know what happened. But from all accounts that I've read everywhere, Brent Pittman was a stand-up guy, trying to cure those those DNA-based chromosomal diseases. This, based on what you've just told me, Spencer, this puts that in a whole new light. Like, he actually, at this point, you see him, like, you know when you see people get hot and stressed, he's actually, like, doing the visible loosening his tie to try and cool off thing. Where's he going?
He does that.
I guess I'll keep working on whatever this thing is.
Probably a good idea.
Okay. Okay, can I can the rest of you just kind of just leave me alone and not just let me do my work?
Pleasure. Lutra immediately leaves the lab.
Please. You other two, please.
I kind of look at him and go, please what?
Just let me do this without you all standing here really, really nervous.
Not gonna happen. I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. And I can throw you pretty far.
What did I do? I've done nothing wrong.
I kind of just look at the corpse and... Not the corpse, but the specimen. And ask him if he really, truly wants to be alone with this thing.
He sort of looks down at the corpse, of the specimen all shifty-eyed, looks back at you, looks back at the specimen, looks back at you. Okay, you make a good point.
Chill out.
I'm just gonna kinda like-
he's
I'm kinda
visibly shaking, by the way.
I'm gonna just kind of like reach out and just, not smack him, but like give him like an attention getter just to like snap him out of it.
Right, yeah, specimen, yeah. And he just dives back in, and he's completely oblivious to anything else as he's doing all this research. Who's watching Link to the Past?
I'm turning it down. I'm watching Fred.
I knew you were watching Fred.
So I'm just kind of like leaning him, but not in his way, like even not in his like side of view, just kind of like behind him, but just kind of like leaning against the wall and just kind of keep an eye on him.
It's rather boring. He's just doing a bunch of humming and hooing and hawing and you know, typical stereotypical nerd lost in research. Is Spectre flying, or is he actually just walking?
Spectre more ran and then sort of just disappeared.
Okay, so, I mean, because Dr. Casey was looking for him, but looks around like, oh, he did that thing. I actually need to roll something else. Okay. That roll is good for you guys. Which computer?
Whichever one is up in the common area.
Okay, so you get back there. After Thomas looks around for a second and realizes it's probably better for you to just take a lot of information, he goes back to his workstation and is actually doing the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of piggyback on both of what you guys are going to end up doing. I'm not going to bother making you roll a technology check because I crit his, and you guys will be able to see this on the GM roll side of things. I legit crit his roll. So you're going to get a lot of information here, and once he sees that the computer is online doing the same thing he's doing, he's just going to forward the information to you. All right. So what we have is Dr. Brent Pittman. You get a bunch of the first things you find is the stuff that you would find, you know, all the time. You know, who he was, you know, his wife, like picture a Wikipedia page entry type of deal, right? So you get all the basics, yada yada. And then, you know, most information after 1998 stops about Brent Pittman. Just completely stops. However, digging a little bit deeper, or a lot deeper, it takes a little while to connect all these dots. But right around the same time there stopped being any mention of Brent Pittman or his wife or anything like that. Pretty much the same day all the information from Brent Pittman stopped being available, random, like, just a new bit of information, just a new person just popped up randomly. A completely new person. And let me consult my random book of names here. I have a list to pull one out here. Alrighty. So, the day that basically Brent Pittman stops being a thing, you start to see information on a Trevor Smith. And it seems pretty innocuous at first, but it's a slow going, but you're able, or between what you're doing and what Thomas is doing over the two computers, you guys are able to trace the information and to sort of sync up the habits of Mr. Smith and Dr. Pittman to conclude that Mr. Smith, Trevor Smith, was the alias that Brent Pittman was going by after 1998. You also know, based on what you remember, that Trevor Smith was the name of the man who was killed and the rest of his family killed in that murder when you first got to or not necessarily first got to town, but at the beginning of the year at the outskirts of Bay City. You really can't find too much information on what he was working on outside of what Thomas told you he was working on. So if there's anything else, it was obviously done clandestinely. But the biggest thing you guys are able to put together is that Brent Pittman and Trevor Smith are the same person. So looking up the address for Trevor Smith, you get Trevor Smith, you get the fact that he had a wife, Marie Smith. You're pretty sure that's an alias. They had 2 children. They had a Graham Smith and a Gina Smith. You're also pretty sure those are not real names. And you also get an address. Also on the computer screen, you get a message from Thomas that just says, "I'm as shocked as you are, and I want to know what happened to him." Looks like Lutra and Anton are watching TV, and Malkir is just still watching the frenetic pace that this guy is just going at with all the stuff he's doing, and just incredible. He's running recognitions, running all kinds of information and all that, and he doesn't come back with any like DNA information, who this guy is, any recognition, because whoever he is wasn't in a system at all. But the one thing he does manage to come back with is, the one other interesting thing I see here is it looks like that whoever this person was, they had something done to their DNA, at whatever age they were at. So say this person, based on the information I'm seeing, it looks like this person was about 22, 23 years old. And this is what it did to them. Like, so this happened after they were grown. Like they've gone through everything. They were grown here and this happened. I don't know if that means anything to you, but that's the information I'm getting here. And now that I've got everything, can we get this thing out of here, please? It's a little weird.
I'm gonna call Anton back into the room to help me box this thing back up.
Now here's the question, though. Did you have to Google that, or did you know that was a show?
No, I knew that one.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with the kid in the background on that.
So I head in there to fix the box up.
All right, you have boxed up the specimen. So Anton and Malkir are boxing up the specimen. Lutra is watching Barefoot Contessa, and Spectre is doing what?
He is Google Earthing this address.
You get exactly where it is. You not only do you manage to Google Earth it, you also find out that you also find out that it's still for sale because nobody wants to buy a place of a supposed quadruple murder.
So I'm contemplating.
Contemplating what? Did Discord again?
Yes.
Okay. Discorded again. Of course it did.
Wait, what happened?
I said Discorded again. You said I'm going to, and then it just cut out.
Oh, basically, I'm debating whether I want to invite the others or just go it alone.
Well, that is entirely up to Spectre.
I don't know if this place has got an armory. I'm feeling spend some time with some hammer.
It does not have an armory. It is a medical research facility.
Yeah, I'm going to remind Thomas that he had promised me a new blade at some point.
And it's been about 3 hours. I can get that. We can work on that. But I'll need more than 3 to 4 hours. And as he says that, you can see him furiously typing something on his phone.
Alright, so I'm going to leave the nerd and go back to the common room since the mutant is taken care of at this point.
Yep. You get back up to the common room and there's a little bit of leftover salmon.
So I'm going to crack an Angry Orchard and have some salmon.
Yay!
So wait, the massively BA assassin drinks cider.
Yes.
That's
And the
hilarious.
show is now sponsored by Angry Orchard. Angry Orchard.
Oh my god, I would love that. I may or may not be drinking a sinful apple right now.
Alright, guys, so we got a freak in a box. We lost the other 3 freaks. What do we do now? Cutthroat's canceled, so, BattleBots?
Not bad.
Do I actually heal these bruises?
Yeah, bruises end up healing, unless you have some sort of regeneration or healing ability. Bruises heal at the rate of 1 per hour.
Gotcha. Alright, cool.
Excuse me. But this seems like a very appropriate time to call it a session, because I personally think I can't get into anything further without, extending this to midnight or beyond, and I really don't think people want to be up that late. Cough, otter, cough.
Yeah, especially because we're in trials, so I should probably...
Oh, lovely. Alrighty, so with that, that's going to be the end of the session. Hero points are going to end up resetting because we are going to start a brand new scene scenario next time we do this. But go ahead, and we're going to take 2 power points for the evening. And that was it. That was issue 1.3, Along Came a Spider.